Good morning, dear students. In this class, we will study about The Kingfisher. It is a poem written by W.H. Davies, a well known poet, and I am Dr. Shivaji Ramagudaji, Assistant Professor of English, Government Prescript College, Kittur. So, in this poem, we will study about the poem, the introduction of the poem, The Kingfisher, and the literary contribution of the well known poet W.H. Davies. About the W.H. Davies, his full name is William Henry Davies, and he is a well known Welsh poet and writer known for his themes of nature and everyday life. So, he has concentrated more on nature as well as the everyday life he was captured, and it was well known noticed his poem The Leisure. The Leisure is the most important and famous poem of W.H. Davies. That poem begins with, "What is the life it full of care? We have no time to stand and stare." These are famous lines of his Leisure, and lived a vagrant life before becoming a celebrated poet. Famous works includes Autobiography of a Super Tramp, and the poems like Leisure and The Kingfisher are well-known poems. And his poetry often reflects a deep appreciation for a simple pleasure and the beauty of the nature. So the when we look about the W.H. Davies, he was born in a working class family in Wales. His father was a printer and died when Davies was just 3 years old. After his father's death, Davies was raised by his grandparents. He went to school in Newport, but he was not very interested in his studies, and he wanted to spend his whole life as a tramp, as a wanderer. In spite of his all hardships and struggle, Davies had a strong love for reading and writing poetry. He self-published his first book of poems, which caught the attention of well-known writer George Bernard Shaw, that is shortly called G.B. Shaw, the Nobel laureate. With Shaw's support, Davies became the better known in literary circles. So he has developed and the right path shown by the G.B. Shaw, and W.H. Davies was a well-known writer in that time. His famous works includes The Leisure, The Kingfisher, The Rain, The Violin, and he wrote his autobiography, The Autobiography of a Super Tramp, in 1908, a real life incident of his life, the tramp. He has made a very popular. And when we talk about his poetry, of the themes he expressed about the nature, the simple living, criticism of modern life, and empathy for the poor. These are the main themes expressed in all his poems. So, in short, W.H. Davies is remembered as a poet of simplicity of nature. His life journey from tramp to a famous poet is truly inspiring despite poverty and physical disability. He never gave up on his love for poetry. His work still remind us to slow down, enjoy nature, and live life meaningfully. So, dear students, this is a brief history of the poet W.H. Davies. Now we can quick pact on the introduction of the poem The Kingfisher. The Kingfisher is a beautiful nature poem, or it is a reflective nature poem that by W.H. Davies, a poet who loved simple rural life and the beauty of the nature. In this poem, he describes his fascination with the kingfisher bird. The itself, the title shows the kingfisher. The kingfisher is a name of the bird, and he was fascinated with the that bird, and he has wrote the poem on the kingfisher, which is known for its bright colors and quick movement. So the kingfisher is a bird. It is always known for his bright colors and quick movements. The poem is not only about the bird, but also about the importance of the appreciating beauty and nature. When we look out the other parts, one side the kingfisher, as well as he expressed the appreciating beauty of the nature in this poem. So the part one of the poem, it was the rainbow gave thee birth, and left thee all her lovely hues. And as her mother's name was Tears, so runs it in the thy blood to choose. For hunts the lonely poles and keep in company with the trees that weep. So in the beginning of the poem, the poet want to be start to talking about how rare and beautiful the kingfisher bird is. In the beginning, he praised and appreciated the beautiful bird of the kingfisher, and he compares it the bright shining colors. He compares his the beautiful color, that is shining colors, to jewels. He has compared to the jewelries and says it is more beautiful than gold and silver. He can add the more metaphors, that is gold and silver. He is comparing the beauty of that word. The poet feels that no treasure in the world, he feels that there is no treasure in the world is as lovely as the kingfisher's natural beauty. Oh, he expressed what the god has created this bird, because he said that there is no treasure in the world which can express the natural beauty of the kingfisher. And next, in the second part, in the second stanza, he said that, go you and with such a glorious hues, live with a proud peacocks in a green parks, on lawns as smooth as shining glass. Let every feather show its marks, get thee on bow and clap thy wings. Before the windows of proud kings, go you Go you and with such glorious hues, live with the proud peacocks in green parks, on lawns as smooth as shining glass. Let ever feather how its marks, get thee on bows and clap the wings before the windows of the proud kings. So in the second stanza, he expressed that he says that seeing a kingfisher is a rare moment, and it lives in a quiet places near rivers and streams. We always find these birds near the places of rivers and streams. The bird appears suddenly like a flash of colors. So the bird suddenly it appears in front of the speaker like the flash of the colors, and it disappears very quickly in front of that, and he is missing the beauty of that, a beautiful the kingfisher birds. The poet admires how the kingfisher doesn't try to show off, and it captures attention with its charm. So the bird kingfisher is admires, and it always capture the attention of by his charmness. And he also mentioned that some people may never see a kingfisher in their life. Some people may see, some people they are not, and they miss out on that the natural wonder. So what are the wonder, the proud he was created, and suddenly some peoples they have missed the beauty of the natural beauty of this kingfisher. And in the third stanza, when it continues the themes, the poet reflects on the idea that the real beauty is bound to nature, not in expensive things. So here he said that the real beauty is found in nature, not in expensive things. He suggests that the true joy of life are often free, like watching birds, feeling the wind, or seeing the sunlights. He says that the true joy of the life are often free, like watching birds, feeling the wind, and seeing the sunlights. He wants us to slow down, notice these little gifts of nature, and feel grateful. The small, small things we should be seeing, and we can enjoy the beauty of this bird. And at the last, the poem ends with the idea that true beauty does not seek validation, but resides quietly in a hidden places. He tells that the true beauty that does not seek validation but resides quietly in a hidden places. This is the agenda last he can expressed in this poem. And the poet who want to conclude in the particular poem, the kingfisher teaches us respect and the enjoy the nature. It teaches us the respect and enjoy the nature. He tells us that the true happiness comes from observing the world around us. Whatever is happening around the world, it the true happenings will come, not from material wealth. The kingfisher is a symbol of quiet natural beauty. The kingfisher is a symbol of a quite natural beauty, and the poem reminds us to slow down and notice the miracle of everyday life. And he notices the small, small things. The speaker has noticed about how the slow down and notice the miracles of everyday life, how it can changes our lives. So, dear students, in this class, we learn about the most famous poet W.H. Davies' poem, The Kingfisher. How the kingfisher's beauty, the natural beauty, and the real nature expressed in this poem. Thank you so much.